We'll get this done and then we'll go to lunch.
Okay.
All right. I want to welcome you guys. What is this episode?
Episode 11.
Are you sure?
See, episode 12.
Episode
Everything
12.
is incorrectly labeled now.
Season 1. We are the Twins with Sugar Cookie Marketing Group on Facebook. It is everything that gears towards selling baked goods as it pertains to online sales and marketing.
How many people are in the group now?
We are almost at 16,000.
16,000 bakers hungry for more out of life.
See what you did there? And I like it. Okay, so last week, Heather introed us by asking me 10 random questions. So I am introing us today and asking Heather 10 random questions she had no idea about till just now. Okay, question number 1, Heather. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What is something weird that you can do with your feet?
We both can do it with our feet because we're twins, but we can spread our toes like little tiny nubby fingers. But it is amazing if you drop a sock, go to the laundry room, the sock falls out, just grab it with your toes, flip it up back into the basket. Everyone's freaked out, but you are on your way.
What would we call your superhero name?
Finger toes.
Finger toes. Captain Finger Toes. Okay, question number 2. What was something super weird you did as a kid when it came to socks?
These are so specific that I have to only give you one answer. I cried. I would cry if my socks were wrinkly, and I feel like I've carried that in various ways into my adult life.
Oh, she's going to therapy for that one. Number 3, which pet snake do you like the most?
For those wondering, I have 2. One would love to kill me, and the one I did like bit me, so I like neither currently.
Okay. Number 4, why is Corrie your favorite sibling for taking you to Disney World?
Great point. She's taking me to Disney World. What are we doing in the podcast that week?
Oh.
Podcasting from Disney World? This is a wild ride. You go up and down.
Next question. Do you know how to bake?
I do not know how to bake. I feel like if challenged, I can throw a few things in a crock pot and press on for 8 hours.
She's come a long way, guys, and I don't know if crock pot and baking
It's not that you can't follow instructions. It's that you have to find joy out of it. And I do not find joy out of it.
She finds joy out of eating it.
Absolutely.
Next, why are you obsessed with watching mid-air disasters before our Disney plane trip?
I am really on a mid-air disasters kick. It's an airplane documentary. They're all true stories, but because they're so well investigated, you always get closure on exactly what wire was soldered the wrong way 5 years ago.
For those who thought we had engaging conversations at lunch,
it's really mid-air. Can I tell you about a mid-air disaster? Corey's like, no, save it for lunch. I want to hear it in detail.
I like to have a good Diet Coke in front of me before I hear it. Okay, what is your favorite restaurant?
Corey and I, we tripped on a restaurant called Seasons 52.
Okay.
It changes the menu every 4 seasons, and it changes the specials every 52 weeks. Seasons 52.
Oh, it's so good.
But it's owned by Darden, the people who own Olive Garden.
Olive Garden.
Right. So it's not like something off the beaten path, some like mom and pop shop we're supporting.
How many do they have? 2?
They have 2 in our area, but they have them all over the country.
Oh, you think?
I went to them.
Well, go to Seasons 52. Honestly, it is my favorite. My favorite of all things there is they give you little shot glass desserts.
So it's just enough for you to be like, this is all I should have, even though I want more.
I ordered 2.
They're all $3 a piece, right?
Oh, I think so, $3.50, something like that. Something where you can definitely justify getting 2 or 3. Okay, who is your favorite nephew or niece?
Oh, with all the ones I have to choose, let me pick the only one I have, Corey's son, Archer.
Okay, just making sure.
I told him the other day, I said, you're my favorite nephew. And then he's like, I'm your only nephew. I said, and the favorite.
I would hate to know if we had to. Who is your celeb crush?
My husband, Tom Cruise.
Heather has been obsessed with Tom Cruise for an exorbitantly long amount of time.
But he's just enough. Like his own fight scenes, he's a...
Heather loves that he drove his motorcycle. I think
motorcycle like a short guy with. He doesn't have anything to prove. Like, you know what? You either like him or you have to join his cult. It's just,
are you Team Beads or are you wrong?
I would have to say I've sipped of the Kool-Aid and I am Team Beads.
Okay, and final question: if you could only make one more post in the group, what would be your final thoughts you'd send folks off with?
Are you kicking me out of the group?
Yes.
I'm your favorite twin boy.
All right, guys, that was our intro. I am Corrie, your favorite twin, and then we have the other twin over there, Heather.
Your favorite twin, for those of you who like, I don't think a lot of people can tell us apart, though.
I couldn't even tell us apart on here.
Right. But let me break down what the podcast is. So we start with the intro, titillating?
Titillating?
I don't think that's right. Can you Google how you spell it?
Tintillating.
Is it?
Okay, I'll Google while you talk.
So we start with the exciting intro, then we go to
tantalizing?
Whoa.
That's funny. I put it tintillating. It said tantalizing.
Or no way. Anyways, okay, we go through the marketing minutes, which is something we want to talk about. Marketing, hey, if you put it into practice, it'll either tell you a little bit more, give you a little bit more strategy, or move you forward a tinge bit, right? And then business of baking is less kind of marketing theory and more business theory, how to handle customers, client communication, business setup, things like that. After that, kind of my favorite part, I really like going through the voicemails. Today we have 2 texts, 2 call-ins. So that'll be nice. And then, group stuff. So things that we're doing in the group that we think you should know about. And finally wrapping it up. Actually, we have Twinterest, which is the things Corrie and I find interesting. Twinteresting. And then sponsors at the end, which is a new segment.
New seg.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm going to let Heather dive on into marketing minutes.
Okay, so with the marketing minutes, what I wanted to cover was content buckets, which was actually a question asked today in the group, which is why you should join the group.
Ooh, I see what you did.
Yeah, I know. So they had a great question. What are content buckets and how can I use them? So it sounds complicated. It's not. I think people call them content pillars. I've heard content silos, content buckets. It's just a repository for content that is similar to itself. So typically, if we work with a brand, I'll create 5 content buckets for that brand. So like we're working with a tutoring company. She's a virtual tutoring company, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say her 5 content buckets look something like why, they kind of mirror who, what, where, when, why. Like why hire her as your virtual tutor?
So value added.
I really like having content buckets of feedback of other parents because we think you want to know what other parents think.
I do. I'm nosy.
Right. So, and then I think we have one about a course she teaches kind of like that, and another content bucket. She has a lot of events that go on. Mm-hmm. So we have a content bucket for that one. And then I think I have a wild card one because she has an influencer that she works with.
I like that. And then I think if you were in a cookie or baking business, especially if you have a local audience, which most of us do, I think you could be the spot that tells what local events are happening. So you don't exhaust yourself. Making cookies, making cakes is hard. You can't always just have 7 days worth of content.
It's exhausting.
Hand. Yeah.
So that brings me to just my quick explanation. You create different buckets to pull content from for your social media post. It streamlines the creative process, and you're also not left scrambling for content each and every week, which can be stressful, especially when you are baking as well. Mm. We always tell people, like, if you want to, steal our marketing tactics, for sure, but you won't be a plumber anymore because there's too much work to do. Anyways, as you know, our business owner with 17 hats, you guys do have to manage your time wisely, and content buckets help with that. The concept is coming up with roughly 5 or 6 content buckets. Don't overstress yourself. It doesn't need to be 30. Just come up with the 4 if you have to, where you can pull content from every day of the week that I want to post. So some of you all are posting multiple times per day. Some of you guys are getting around 3 times per week. It's whatever fits for you. None of this is standard. So it's just kind of a strategy to help you approach the content. So let's say, for example, I could say on Mondays, I pull from content bucket 1, Tuesdays, content bucket 2. So the benefits of this strategy, you're now able to pre-plan and store evergreen content. Corrie, do you know what evergreen content is?
I'm going to say it's never dying. Since
exactly. She saw a tree and she pulled from that. So evergreen content is content that I can post whenever. And that's, okay, let's say you had done a bridal set.
Okay.
People getting married all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe you have a spring and winter one, and that's a little bit more strategy behind it. But the content never expires. Like events kind of expire. So, if an event passes, that's a little different. But evergreen content would mean I can post it today in January. I can post it tomorrow in August.
Absolutely. Can I speak to one of this one when it comes with photography too? More angles of the same set.
Exactly.
More content to pull from.
Right. So that's why I make this. Everyone's like, how many photos of the same set? How many is not enough? Just keep, because you can use it for years to come. Granted, maybe your skills can get a little bit better, but at least your Photoshop skills.
Amen. But for the next foreseeable future, it really helps you if you can work smarter versus
and
harder.
it's a content bucket. So you put it in there. Doesn't mean you have to use it, but it means it's there for you.
Amen.
You can bulk create a content, just what Corey's saying. So we can create content ahead of time, like a batch, as a cookie pun, like batch create content. So let's say it's, at any given time, let's say would it be too tasking for you to create 5 different cookies in a day? You have no client orders. It's a slow day.
Like just for fun.
Just for fun.
I think I could do 3 easy.
So 3, and then take their photos, take multiple angles. You have just created a lot of content for a content bucket in a single day. You don't have to do it every time you create a set. So I know a lot of people are creating sets. The client's on their way. They're stressed. I didn't even get a chance to take pictures. Mm-hmm. If we breathe a little bit and set 1 calendar day per month to be a batch content creation day, imagine how less stressed you'll be. It may not be that client's order specifically, but it's a highlight reel, right? That's,
Heather knows I love making cookies for content. It sounds like a
charity. Cookies for content. Please donate your cookies to you can go ahead on social media.
But what it does is it pushes my skill level because I'm always trying something new. But 2, it gives me content to push out. So my audience never grows stale.
Right. So I think that's what the content was she was saying. She said, I feel like I'm constantly like, I bake cookies, buy my cookies, I bake cookies. So this content allows us to be a little bit more flexible. Something else it also allows us to do is not pigeonhole ourselves with the repetitive selling, where you feel like, wow, what are my end users getting from this? Nothing.
Yeah.
They only need me when they want me. Or we could be like Corrie kind of mentioned, the about town cookie lady who knows where the kids sales are, where happy hour is for adults to go on date night. Oh, date night. Hey, why don't you buy some cookies for that? Things like that. And then it allows you to schedule content out. You can't schedule out content that doesn't exist. Right? I did the world's most boring live, but I'm very passionate about it. For 2 apps that we use, Hootsuite, which allows us to schedule out content, and we typically do it a month in advance for clients. And then Meet Egger, which is based off of the content bucket theory.
True. I want to just interrupt you real quick. Some people are like, well, you're not being present. You're scheduling things out. In between those scheduled posts, we are creating more content.
But that's the content that I can easily create. Not the stress, like I gotta post something, but the yesterday I saw when I went to LinkedIn company pages, you can now invite 100 contacts to your business page per month.
Okay. And I saw you posted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had time on your hands. It wasn't like you're stressing out for those bare minimum 3 posts a week because
I'm in front of my content schedule. Yeah. I'm not behind it stressing I haven't posted my page is growing stale because we are fighting the algorithm. Mm-hmm. And if you have to resuscitate your page every time you get around to posting it, you're fighting an uphill battle.
And Heather and I take the approach of what are you posting this week so that when that scheduled post does go up, we're there. It's not that we're just setting it and forgetting it. We are there. We are responding to comments. So it's almost as if we did just post it up, you would never know the difference.
Right. So it's pretty simple. So Corrie will post something. I kind of get the vibe if she's scheduled or not, but she'll tag me in it. And then I'll go in and engage with it, and we're sitting there at the computer together. Yeah, not the same computer. We sit at separate tables,
in the same seat, in front of the same keyboard.
Can I use the letter A for a minute? And then so my next subject matter on the content bucket is what should be in your bucket. So I'm going to tell you what we do for Sugar Cookie Marketing's buckets to kind of give you some inspiration. Hold on, our cat is knocking at the door. You have got to let him. I'm going to pause it. Okay, has Phoebe been secured?
Crisis averted.
Okay, Phoebe is in the building. We can move forward. So what should be in your content buckets? For Sugar Cookie Marketing, I love a bucket that's gifts and memes. So I'm not saying gifts like a present.
GIFs?
No, they said if it sounds like peanut butter, you've gone too far.
Well, now I'm just going to call it GIFs exclusive.
Okay, well, gifts, like, those little images that says GIF loading and then they play something, and memes, right? Because they're super funny. Yeah. They allow us to break up the content. I'll get into that in just a second. Podcast throwbacks. So we put a lot of effort into the podcast. For me to only post about a podcast one time is a waste of my time, right? It's evergreen content. The podcast content doesn't expire. Granted, we do talk about lives, but the marketing minutes and the business theory is still there. We also have inspirational quotes, business quotes, something like that to just be like, hey guys, help your morning. It's great content. Mm-hmm. It fits our end user, you guys. Another one is Facebook Live recaps. So these people donate their time in Facebook Lives. Why would I never post about it again? It's great content.
And they're like value packed hours of these people's lives that they give into us. I mean, the more we can share it, the more people it helps too.
The more people it helps. So our end user's happy. We're happy because I don't have to create that content again. So if I had to recreate Porch pop-up lives every time, then Corey's watching this cat and he's in and out. He has an agenda. We're just a part of it.
All right, I'm done.
Tech tips. Okay, sometimes those expire. So I know Facebook had QR codes on their pages. They pulled it a couple weeks ago. Okay, that content, dead to me. So
Right.
as I find them, I keep filling up that bucket. And I go back and audit it. Okay, this one's gone. But a lot of times they last.
Yeah, a lot of times.
And a content calendar. So Corrie, you can see post Wednesday wins. We post the Sunday cutter winner. How can people win a cutter?
Oh, if you are in the group, you can actually win a free cutter, and it's super easy. All you have to do is check it into the group and engage with content, whether you're giving it, whether you're asking it.
It doesn't even have to be quality content. Like Greg literally won by writing, there's a podcast 30,000 times.
Don't tell him that. He's going to keep doing it. But that is also something that goes, you guys can see it. Friday, I post, go engage with hashtag sugar cookie marketing on Instagram.
So we don't have to necessarily reinvent the wheel every week. Exactly. We have our things that go up on specific days, and then we have our content buckets that we can pull from otherwise. So now kind of break down how we assign it. So now my content buckets are created. I'm happy with them. Mm-hmm. Again, this is applied to sugar cookie marketing, but we'll bring it back around.
Okay.
But I want to say, why do I choose the day I choose? And we always say be intentional with your marketing.
Heather loves that phrase.
Be intentional. So be intentional. So on Saturdays, I usually post a GIF or a meme. Why? People are less
relaxed.
Yes. People are less intense.
People are like, did you experience my last Saturday?
Right. I know. Not a Mother's Day Saturday. But like on the weekends, people are less trying to figure out their Squarespace content. They're either baking and they're just grabbing their phone to
try
kill
to
a couple
forget
minutes.
about work. Friday at 5.
I know.
Sunday at 9.
If we get an email at Friday at 5:01, Corrie will not be replying to it. And then we upload new podcasts on Tuesdays, so I wouldn't put a throwback podcast upload on a Tuesday. Instead, I post it on like a Friday. Why? Because people are beginning their bake cycles. They're not at the computer anymore, but they can listen.
Right. And when she says we usually upload Tuesday, we actually upload Wednesday, but we actually have a meeting tomorrow, so hence we're doing it on a Tuesday.
One day we're going to be like, so we upload them on Sundays at 8 a.m. Tech tips. They are boring, but I find that most people are trying to work on their business, not in their business on weekdays. So a tech tip, usually post it late at night where people are like, okay, yeah, I can do that. I got a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then we also have a general category, and this is just content like AE Core Berkers has a discount code that it never expires. The content never expires for us, but we have to fight the algorithm. So a lot of people don't know that they can use the code what?
Sugar cookie, not plural.
I know Mike made a great post today about vinyl not being food safe. And those
Acore are
PVC.
stable PVC.
So they are food safe.
Yes,
so that's the difference of them. So that was a great post. But the concept is talking about a discount code for clear bags never expires for us. And it's content I can push out that my end user wants to see that will get engagement, and I don't have to think about it every week.
I love that.
Okay, so now let's tie it back to cookies. Let's say Throwback Thursday. That's a phrase everyone knows. On Thursday, you pull up from your Throwback Thursday bucket and you said, here's a client who ordered from me. Here's why they ordered it. Really enjoyed working on the set.
And to that effect, if you tagged them, and some people believe in tagging, some people believe in not tagging, but if you did that and thanked them again, one, they feel appreciated, but two, they remember, oh yeah, I needed cookies for this.
It lets other people know. So let's say Nurses Appreciation Week. I think it was
last week,
this week. Does it roll over? It didn't parallel perfectly with Mother's or
last week was insane.
Oh my goodness, right. We sent our cousin sent a picture of her table she's a nurse, sent a picture of an empty table and she said, look at all the stuff I got for Nurse Appreciation Day.
But Heather sent her a Chipotle gift card.
Thank goodness for e-gift cards. But the concept being, okay, what holiday is coming up? Nurse Appreciation Day. I'm going to do my throwback for Nurse Appreciation Day.
Last year, Father's Day.
And then it's going to remind people, oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. Had I seen a Nurse Appreciation cookie,
I would have gotten
it.
I would have
remembered
it. So end of school year's coming up. So all those teacher appreciation things
remind people ahead of time what they need to be ordering, but do it on a Throwback Thursday. I really like this set, worked with a client, had fun. Here's the techniques I use, something like that.
Yeah, I do like that.
Right? And so I'm just making these up.
Go ahead.
About Me Mondays. Something about your business, your family, how you got started, your kids. Give me a little bit. What makes you different from the cookier down the street? Courtney's teaching an Instagram live class at the end of the month, but she has the prompts that are very much like, let me see you as you are.
Right. I do like those. I love seeing who's behind the page and who's behind the apron.
Pull back the apron.
I tried.
Here's the corporate apron. Let's say event promo Wednesdays. So, okay, let's say we can condition our audience to look for us for upcoming events on Wednesdays. But when I'm hosting an event, guess what? I can sneak in there.
All yours.
Your event. So I'm having a porch pop up next week. I'm not, but on Wednesday, on Wednesday next week, I'd say, hey, look for this upcoming farmers market that a lot of people really like. It doesn't take a lot of footwork. It does take a little.
Yeah.
To kind of generate
this
that
resource though, and people aren't just coming and be like, oh, another cookie, but you're actually providing value for them, like a give and take.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna give Corrie this idea. Let's pretend you want to be the event source for mothers of children under a certain age, 10, right?
Okay.
So let's say you made a Google Calendar where you uploaded all the events that you think mothers should like.
Okay.
It updated every week. Every time you found something, just threw it on the calendar, public share. But what happens when you say, hey, I have DIY kits. They'll be going on sale on Friday. Add that to the calendar. And now you've got a captive audience that's already conditioned to look for you as a source of entertainment for their kids. You're doing the thinking for them. You're a value source.
I love that.
Right. So that's what the theory of content buckets are. Could I recommend everyone have a content bucket? I think it'll save you a lot of work.
I think it will.
I think it'll allow you to get a little bit of ahead of your marketing instead of always feeling like you're dragging behind it.
Mm-hmm. And for people who are like, oh, I'm just starting out. I don't actually have, I haven't done a lot of sets or anything. If you have any reviews, that is the time to showcase it too. That is a content bucket in itself.
Yeah.
It's value added for those coming to your page, and it's one less step for you to do. You already got the recommendation.
I found myself, I love iOS updated 14.5. I think.
Did.
And now you can choose to opt in for less targeted ads. It does not remove ads at all. You will definitely see the same amount of ads. You just won't see ads customized to your interest.
Yeah.
Anyways, I like to be sold the stuff I like.
I do too. I buy it all the time.
So I'm not going to opt out of it. I also don't have Apple products, but
it's not even like I could.
sell to me. So let's say, the other day I saw this cute dress.
Did you buy a dress without me?
No, because I looked at the reviews. And the lady just, I don't know if she's right, but she was like, definitely don't buy, not true to size. I had to get it hemmed in 2 different ways. She had to get it shortened and then
taken in.
And I was like, okay, I'm not going to get it. Because I don't want to risk it. I also don't want to get things
She
hemmed.
risked it for you.
She risked it for me. So reviews do add value and they do take away value. So that's why we were like, constantly tell me why you're the best. Let me see the reviews from people around you that really enjoyed buying from you.
That's a great content bucket right there.
I think that should be its sole own content bucket. If you have nothing to fill into it, your bigger problem is that you're not asking for reviews.
Yes, amen. Which is, I think, another podcast topic we should definitely dive into.
I think we talked about it last week, but I like it.
Thank you. We will talk about it again.
Okay, that is my marketing minute. I really like the content bucket idea. I like sitting down, strategizing. Just come up with 5. Look at other cookiers and see what they're doing. Look at the big guys and see what they're doing.
Yeah, and people are like, you don't know if GIFs or memes are my business. GIFs. Don't make me.
We'll have to fight each other after this, but okay.
But then maybe you could take a more lighthearted approach.
What if you said have an engagement content bucket, which people are constantly posting up those kind of questions in the group for inspiration.
True, absolutely. So if maybe GIFs and memes aren't your thing,
you're doing it on purpose now.
I just want to say my thoughts.
GIFs.
All right, so can we dive into the business of baking?
Take it away, Twin Boo.
Okay, so this was last minute because it actually just happened the other day, but I want to talk about knowing your worth. And I know it's a big thing, especially when people are just starting out and you think your talents don't measure up to the gal down the street selling cookies, but it's all about knowing your worth and not necessarily comparing yourself to others. But I actually got this message. I know Heather is an admin on my page, so she definitely
Corrie and I, if we ever have any side hustle, side business, side hobby, we'll create a page if it is applicable, and I'll just store as an admin.
Oh, I love it.
I'm so she's like, why did that person write this? I'm like, well, why did that person write that?
I'm going to say it, show it says red, but tell me what it said. But I got a message from a potential client this past week. She messaged asking me, all it said, it was a specific date. Can you do cookies on May 30th? And to see if I had any openings. And how much do I charge? That's just all it said.
That's fair.
She didn't say the theme. She didn't say much about it. Now, Heather will tell you, we don't like wasting time beating around the budget bush.
Trim that bad boy.
So she asked if I was available, how much would I charge? She didn't give me an idea of what she wanted with her initial message, so I asked her what was the idea she was looking for, and that my base price starts at $45 a dozen, which I honestly think is affordable. So you can see how off base we will end up being, me and this lady. But I just want to.
You got it away. You got it out of the way.
I did get out of the way because
I was looking over Corey's proverbial internet shoulder.
Heather, give me a pat on the back.
Like, did you see? Yeah, I saw everything. I read the entire thing.
But I want to spitball with Heather real quick. About when do you think during a sale is the right time to drop pricing hints? The reason being, some people say, let me build value first so that no matter what my pricing is, they'll be so into me that they'll make the pricing work. But then there's other folks who say, let me give them my base price right off the bat because time is money and the more I waste, the less I make. So I know which one in Heather we are normally. And we came a long
hybrid
way.
of the two.
Yes. So tell me, what do you think is best? I can see the logic behind both.
Yeah, I see the logic behind both. You don't want to go in so abrasive, but you also don't want to, if you don't introduce pricing towards the beginning, you're looking at introducing it after a lot of back and forth, which is always anxiety inducing for both parties. Because how much do you got? Well, how much do you charge? Well, how much do you want to spend? Like that back and forth is really exhausting. So what I'd say, and I saw Corrie replied this way, you have about 3 paragraphs to knock this all out. First, you thank them for reaching out. Sound oozy. You are a cookie lady. I want to think of you as a grandmother with a warm oatmeal cookie.
That's
being
what
broken
you think
apart.
of me? A grandmother with an oozy oatmeal.
I've seen how you talk to her. You're not a grandmother. But so like, hey, thank you so much, Stacy, for reaching out to me. I really appreciate the opportunity. Here's a set I've been working on. It's so cute. It's this dog set, just to give you a concept of what we're capable of. But again, let me know your ideas. I'm really excited to get started. Everything is, adorable and I love working on it. Just to give you a heads up so you can get pricing out of the way, my dozen starts at $45 and goes up from there. But I can work with you on figuring out exactly what that price is if you give me a couple of details.
Right. So my thought behind it is I cannot create a set for less than $45. I have a dozen minimum. And the least I can charge is $45. So let me be upfront and let this person know.
A lot of people just don't know.
They just don't know.
Okay, so my grandmother, this while we're at my grandparents' house, is she wanted to get a quote for a small front retaining wall, like a tiny, cute one where the garden goes inside of.
Yeah, okay.
But you don't know how much it cost. You
because
don't know.
She's not this connoisseur of retaining walls.
Right. So she was like, I said, well, how much do you think it'll cost? $1,000. I said, absolutely not. It's going to be at least triple that. Well, I don't know then. So come up with a price in your head that you're okay with, Grandma. And if it comes above or below that, then you can make your buying decision. Yeah. It was well above it.
Well,
she will not be buying the retaining wall.
But I think people who don't know the cookies, they don't know how much time goes into it. I did not know before I started.
It's a cookie. What do you, I don't know.
I don't know. I did not know it takes 3 days for it to dry. I had no idea that, icing bleed, butter bleed, you're working against factors of God against these cookies. I would never have known that hadn't I been educated.
So we can't be mean to the people who don't have the education in cookies. It's not their job. They're buying from you.
Right. So that's why I think it's beneficial to get the price out of the way so that sticker shock, is gone.
I would always soften the blow, though, with that oozy, drippy, thank you so much for contacting me. I think you sent her a photo of a set you'd done.
Well, she actually sent me the photo after I had asked. Well, I'll get to it in a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so that was my talk about pricing. There's pros and cons to each way, and it's however you want to run your business. But I like to make sure time is money. So if I can get the base price out there, and they can get that sticker shock worn off, and then I can woo them.
Which actually comes into play with all this.
It really
does. Hit her up with 45, and then the conversation looked like it was going to stop, and suddenly it didn't. So I'll let you go on.
So the next message to my very nice message was, let me look. That's so expensive with a sad face.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
The sad face was next to the word expensive, so it didn't make the emoji.
So that's how she responded. You know what I did not do? I did not get defensive. I did not get angry, and I did not get anxious. And I'm just going to break
And you
those
did not
down
ghost either.
I did not ghost. My heart wanted to ghost her because I felt, well, whatever. But I did not because we are salespeople. Mm-hmm. A warm lead is your best lead. Mm-hmm. And guess what? She reached out to me. That's a warm body. That's someone who wants.
You already did the
cookies.
acquisition marketing.
Yeah. The cold to warm is so hard.
That's the most expensive part of marketing. So when you do get these leads, that's a lot more cost effective to cultivate than always having to generate somebody you've never had any interaction with.
So let's talk about why I did not get defensive. I didn't get defensive because I know my worth. I know that I'm not for everyone. And to be quite honest, I think I'm actually affordable at my base price being $45 because I know how much time and effort has gone into getting me to the level that I'm at. When I actually quoted her the $45, Heather, I was on Instagram doing the 3x3x3 challenge, and I saw a local baker.
A Lerker baker?
A Lerker baker.
Got me a Lerker baker. Sorry.
I'm a Lerker baker. Down the road saying, and in her Instagram bio, it says my set start at $60. So if there was any reinforcement I ever needed, it was to happenstance on that Lerker baker and realize that I'm a treat, man.
Right.
So I didn't get mad because I know that I have self-worth in it. And this internet stranger does not determine that for me.
But she was also, it was expensive for her. She's got to defend herself.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's easier not to get mad at somebody when you're like, yeah, I get it. This is expensive.
Yeah, and I don't take it on her. I don't know what her financial points are.
But it's also not our job to be her financial advisor.
Absolutely. So I did not get defensive, and I totally understood where she was going from. I did not get angry. Why? I didn't get angry because I know that not everyone is my target audience.
Also, you didn't get angry because you didn't have a lot of time invested.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
Because we didn't do that
I went back and forth 5 hours, 5 days. They didn't respond. And then when I gave them the price, they don't like it.
Yeah.
Now you have hurt your feelings because you kind of fell in love with the concept of the set and the money that how you're going to spend it.
Exactly. So that is a real big reason because tire kickers. Whoa.
Tire kickers.
What? You can't
What is
laugh so loud into their ears. No, they said they don't care. They said, girl, laugh like you own it.
Tire kickers.
Tire kickers. Okay. I need to wrap my little portion up because I am struggling. It'll get tire kickers a kicking.
There you go.
Wow, that was a struggle.
You got it. You got it.
But I am selling a luxury item.
Mm-hmm.
It is not.
No one bought sugar cookies because they are hungry.
No.
I mean, there are those people who I do eat them like a food.
But there's
group.
those awesome ones from Walmart with that buttercream on top. You know, that's a very soft cookie. And
Corrie,
it's like,
I know exclusively because I've solely funded Walmart through those cookies.
But just like people can buy Chanel bags out there and people can shop at the Walmart purse department.
They both carry everything.
Absolutely.
But there's different strokes for different folks.
Exactly. So I am catering more to the luxury clientele.
Different totes for different folks. There you go.
Oh, I like it. At least you could say it without chopping it up. So I didn't get angry because it was nice that right off the bat, we determined she wasn't my ideal client. Mm-hmm. I didn't get offended about it because I'm not Chanel's ideal client. That's why I did not own a Chanel bag.
Well, what did you say back to her when she said you're too expensive, sad face?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Okay, my last thing is I didn't get anxious. A lot of people will get a message like that and start second guessing their pricing, and what they're really doing is second guessing their own worth. They think things like, am I overpriced? I see it in the groups all the time.
Yeah, everyone should sit down in their price rather than reassessing where they're marketing to find these people.
Yeah. So instead of thinking things like, am I worth it? If someone says you're too expensive and you're like, am I worth it? All those hours you spent researching royal icing consistencies, set after set, all your practice, you're going to be like, I'm absolutely worth it. But when you start saying, am I overpriced? It's easy to be like, yeah, because she said I was expensive. She thinks I'm overpriced. So if I went out solely off this internet stranger's idea of me.
The funny thing is, like, you'll have 100 people paying your price and that one person's like, you're too expensive. And then they'll be like, oh, am I? No. You're out of that person's budget, which is fine.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you got to look at everybody else, all the positive feedback.
I know. I think it's hard when people are starting out.
Exactly.
And
desperate
just
people drop their prices.
Yeah. I just want to reach to the computer screen and be like, no, you're worth it, baby girl.
You know how you don't become so desperate?
No.
An emergency business fund, so $1,000, and you would be less desperate if you had more marketing avenues, channels.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play Heather, how do I get $1,000?
You start saving? Is what I would say.
And
I would say allocate a part of each of your sales towards funding this emergency business budget. Because when you have $1,000 in the bank, just $1,000, it's not the end of the world, but it is the peace of mind that you don't need that sale. You don't need to drop your price for that one sale.
Right. I will say, with our marketing agency, Heather and I have saved in the good times. So
I have not. Corrie forces
Heather
me
doesn't
to.
save, but
I would have
I'm
spent
a saver. when the coronavirus did hit, we actually did lose a lot of clients because a lot of those brick and mortar stores closed. So they don't need marketing. They can't have people in the store.
So what would happen if we had $0 in the bank? Someone comes up to us, which a lot of people do, says you're a little expensive for me right now.
Oh.
We would be like, oh, name your price.
Right.
But
because we had the savings in the bank account, we are still able to know our worth.
But it also gives you that sound of confidence. Like, oh, hey, I know we're expensive. Definitely consider the benefits here. If you want to ask us questions leading up to this, we'd be happy to talk. But, great. There's somebody out there for you. It's probably just not us right now. If you ever get to that point, let's talk. Had it been that feeling of desperation, you can feel it.
Right. It is. You can feel it.
Right.
So with this lady who said I'm expensive, I'm getting ready to tell you exactly what I said to her.
Let me know.
I did not ghost her.
Look a bicker.
I'm a look a picker. I didn't ghost her.
Great.
I wasn't rude to her. Good. I didn't say, how dare you call me expensive. I actually have it typed out here. So I said, I totally understand if I fall outside of your budget and no worries at all. I just appreciate you reaching out. It really made my night.
So you know what? She got to get off her chest how she felt. And you got to say, thank you so much. You're not invalidated for thinking I'm expensive.
No, I better be expensive. This stuff takes forever.
Right. Thank you for complimenting.
So I wanted her to know that I'm not apologizing for my prices. I did not do anything wrong.
I cut you off. I see there's more.
There's a little bit more, but that's okay. I want to take it by segment. That's fine.
Okay.
So I didn't apologize because there's nothing to apologize for. My prices are just that. But I don't want to say my prices are my prices.
Right.
But I want to say, hey, thank you. I'm sorry I fall outside of your budget.
You didn't make her feel less than.
No.
But you made her feel appreciated.
Yeah, because thank you so much for reaching out. It really did make my night.
It's kind of anxiety inducing to reach out to a company to get the budget. To
get a quote because, what if they think what if it is so drastically different? I'm thinking, I thought it was 50 cents. It could be in your hair saying $5.
Right. So then you had to be like, hey, I'm sorry. It's just out of my budget. And the person could ghost you, which always makes you feel.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And that's why I don't like it when someone does it to me. I don't want to do it to somebody. My next sentence, it says, this is my value added portion. I strive to make my cookies both tasty and pretty. I can absolutely knock your theme out of the park, but definitely shop around to other bakers. Hey, it is a huge step that she's investing.
Said that you can, hey, just so you know though, I'm out of your budget. Thank you so much for reaching out. If you kind of didn't leave the sale there, you just warmed her up a little bit before she walked out.
Because we just said our warmest lead is the person in front of us right then. Right. So, hey, lady, I know that I'm above your budget, but guess what? I can knock your socks off.
Didn't you sell cars? And people would be like, hey, this is my budget. And then you'd be like, okay, unfortunately, this car for your monthly payment is just out of your budget. And all of a sudden, they'd come up to the budget.
Every single time. When people fall in love with an idea of something, they will move heaven and hell to make it a possibility. So I am actually going to bring cars into this. You are just really, at least we're on the same mindset. But I also love that she was reaching out to a small local baker because she didn't have to. She could go to
Walmart to get those delicious sugar cookies.
I'm right behind you, girl, online. But I want her to shop around. It's so awesome that you're shopping with local bakers. So don't let me stop you on your journey to find your best baker because they're out there we are surrounded by amazing bakers. A lot of them are in the group. So definitely go out and find the one that fits you. I'm just happy that you're supporting small business.
Right.
Then we ended with, I absolutely will be here if you need me now or in the future.
Give her that option so she doesn't feel shame-faced coming back to you if she does have the money down the road.
Absolutely. And she could be a great lead.
What if you had ended with, don't waste my time next time?
I would never hear from her. If anything, maybe she would badmouth me to the next baker.
Right. What if you ended with, these prices are determined by the effort that is put into them, and they are not easy to do.
That's abrasive.
She's not coming back.
She's not coming back.
Embarrassed the person.
So
it costs you nothing to not embarrass somebody.
Exactly. And I want to treat someone as I want to be treated with, hey, thanks so much.
Did you just bring the golden rule into the podcast?
I did.
Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yeah, so I let her down. But what I didn't do is change my pricing because it does take a lot of work for me. My worth is not tied to the thoughts of internet strangers. Instead, it is tied to how much time and effort goes into it. So I honestly shut my phone. Didn't think I'd ever hear back from her.
I was reading it, but that's fine.
Yeah, I said, oh, well, this will be good. Maybe we'll talk about it on a podcast one day. Right.
Yeah.
Here we are. Tomorrow. What I didn't do is say, how dare you question my pricing? Because one, she just might not know. I also didn't lower my prices to meet her expectations. Instead, I built value in my abilities and thanked her for even considering my small little business. Then, in efforts to turn a no into a yes, as Heather likes to tell us, I told her I'd be here for her now and in the future.
Left that door open. And guess who came walking back through it?
Okay, I got a message yesterday. It said, okay, I'm a possibility. My mom is going to help me with pricing. Let me just see how many I need.
So, great. She wasn't embarrassed. She actually felt encouraged. She was welcomed back. No one moved on pricing, but guess who came up to the price?
So this is how I'm bringing car sales back in. When I would run someone's credit, it was always this giant elephant in the room to wait to get these bank offers back for the financing. When the bank offers came back, the bank didn't say, hey, girl, that looks like a nice family. Take $2,000 off the top so they can drive home with it. No,
let me get that bank account.
The bank said, it's $5,000 down or you do not get the car. So what I would turn to them and say, hey, you need to find $5,000. And guess what they would do?
Find $5,000.
Or they would not have the car. But the bank never, sorry.
But they would leave carless.
But the bank never changed because they knew the value of the car that they were selling. They couldn't take money off of it because the
bank knows its risk.
Absolutely.
Right? So to the bank, this car is valued at this. For us to make this work with that credit score, we need $5,000 down. I've never seen a bank that says, well, I mean, this one time. No, banks will never lose money.
They will never. And as a business owner, you should never lose money.
You should never be working at a loss. You will close. And marketing really well will help you close faster.
But Heather, I'm not at a loss. I'm literally breaking even.
You will burn out. You have got to generate a profit. That is what business is. It is not a charity. It is not a side hustle. If you want a business, you have to generate profit.
And a lot of people call themselves hobby bakers. Oh, I just pay for my hobby. No, if you are making money, you are a business. A hobby costs you money. A business makes you money. So determine which one you want to be.
If you're in sugar cookie marketing, you're already having a proactive approach to business. If you're a hobby baker, maybe this group isn't necessarily for you. But the fact that you're listening to the podcast,
girl,
your head's in the right direction to really truly monetize this. So getting this foundational thing of I will generate a profit with each sale. That profit was how you're going to fund your emergency fund, so you're not desperate down the road.
So when I know a lot of people like to justify their pricing based on their skill level, and I do,
Sherry's Berries.
Cheryl's Barrels.
Cheryl's Barrels.
No, it's Sherry's Berries. I like to call her Cheryl Barrel.
Sherry's Barrel Berries. They are really good.
Oh, they're delicious.
But they're not the prettiest things I've ever seen.
No.
But they're great. But they're ugly, kind of. That's Sherry, if you're listening to this, I love your cookies.
Sure, girl.
But they're not decorated sugar cookies, but she's making a profit.
Yeah. And she knows that people want what she's giving. She charges. She's not cheap.
No, she's not cheap. But instead of coming off her price, there's fast shipping, right?
Yeah.
So she's brought her business up instead of bringing her price down.
And guess what? People are raising to her standards and buying her cookies.
Right. So, if Sherry's Berries are not pretty, they are delicious, but are most cookies, right? I don't like oatmeal cookies.
Raisins aren't good for me.
I don't like raisins. Okay, so in the general scheme of cookies, they're all delicious. But don't lower your price for your skill set. Raise your price, raise your marketing, market better, take better photos.
I see people.
And then work on your skills. Right?
Work on your skills.
Don't lower your prices
but
to
with
match your
the
skills.
Profits you make from your cookies at the stage now, use those profits, take a cookie class. That's where your profits can go.
How do you fund your cookie class?
With
How are you going to take that
profits.
on? You have to. People are like, well, I get paid for my time. That is not profit. That is cost, labor cost. Where did the word labor cost come from? They don't call it labor profits. I think Taco Bell might. I always say, think of yourself as two people in your business owner and employee. Would your employee say, well, I pull the profits from my time? No. Your employee checks in, checks out, goes home. They get paid for that. You are that person when you're decorating. Now, the business owner has to say what margin is on top of my costs that I can, pay myself and that I can pay for my business expenses or investments and pour it back into marketing, things like that.
So I wasn't going to add this part, but this lady that we're now closing in on our conversation just messaged me and said, do you do a taste test? I absolutely do not do taste tests. But Heather had a fantastic idea.
I read it from somebody in the group.
Yeah. I have these cookies that I made. They're the leftover from Teacher Appreciation Week. They're
heat sealed, ready to go.
Yeah. So tell them what you said.
So somebody in the group said, a great way to do that is to say, my taste test cookie is, let's say it's $4.
Okay.
But if you buy from me, I'll deduct $4 from the total cost. So listen, if she ghosts, Corey still gets $4.
Still get the $4. And then she there's no miscommunication. I'm not trying to goodwill into the sale. I mean, everything costs you. I told you my base price is $45. Of course the taste test is going to cost you too.
You know what I would say? Okay, I would turn this kind of reluctant yes into an absolute yes for, and I would say, hey, absolutely, for $4, we'll roll that into the cost. I know it's kind of put you out for driving because I'm located in XYZ. I can give you some references and look at the reviews that these cookies do taste good if it want to save you some time.
I love that. And then now it's a win-win.
And she has the option to say, okay, I trust you, or hey, I'm down to drive 30 minutes out of my way for a $4 cookie.
Right. Either way, me as a business owner, I'm not losing out here.
And you're not putting in any extra effort. Those cookies are upstairs.
Those cookies were.
I've been eyeing them all day.
I was going to give them to the neighbor kids.
But a lot of people could have heat-sealed cookies ready to go. I would say, if you want to do the taste testing thing, that's your own prerogative. Right. I like the concept of having them put a little money down.
Yeah.
And then taking it back. You're not charging them $4 for a taste test cookie. They get a beautiful cookie. Those are decorated upstairs.
Yeah.
But you can make them ahead of time, right? And dethaw them.
You can freeze them in the freezer.
So
sometimes they're even better than when you just made them.
Exactly. Oh, great.
Oh, good.
Eat this one. Don't eat the other one.
So I do think that is 100% a great idea. She has no loss of expectations that, my stuff will cost her money.
And you don't have that somebody asked for a taste test. How do I tell them no? Tell them no by telling them yes.
Yeah. Hey, and guess what? I'm not driving anywhere.
I don't want to say it. You put them out. Hey, if you want to drive, absolutely. You've given them the yes that they wanted. You've reminded them it's inconvenient in this area to travel anywhere.
Yeah. The only thing I have to do is take a shower because I look.
Please contact Let's Taste Test Porch Pickups. Corey and I have done
one cookie before. On the porch. Please grab it
before the local Fox does. Corey and I have done that. Like when we didn't want to shower, put in a ton of effort for pickup day. We just call it contactless porch pickup.
It's been the best thing ever. Mm-hmm. I almost bought a sign though.
COVID leaves. What?
I almost bought a sign where we could write "Pick up your cookies here."
I like that. I see a lot of people do that. It's a great idea. Because right now I screenshot Google Maps and say, this is the house.
Yeah, so I think I might do that. But I was at Michael's and it was 40% off and I got $5 off. Okay. All right, so that wraps up what our business with baking. I hope you guys learned a little bit of that your worth does not come from the thoughts of others. I see it a lot of times when people post in the group, what should I charge for these? And a bunch of people spit out a bunch of numbers, and I guess you guys are just picking somewhere in there. But they don't know how much time.
Just have a little bit of intention. There's that word again. Intentionality. So if you don't know what your base price is, like if I do not charge this, my cost of ingredient, I'm actually paying them to buy from me. If you don't know that, you're just shooting blind.
Yeah. And then you're going off of the thoughts and opinions of others versus, as a business, working with profit. Mm-hmm. Is this a hobby or is this a business?
If you're here, better be a business.
Better be a business, baby girl.
Baby girl. Okay, so we are launching a course. I done talked about it so many times. That will kind of be where I can really drill into tech tips and we can talk about really the concept behind pricing structures and why you want to charge that way and how to determine your costs and things like that. Which, if it's anything like the live I did in the group last week, all three of you who watched it.
Woo-woo, I think I was there for part of it.
At the end I said, Corey, please type in the comment box if you're awake.
I was asleep.
Silence.
I was so tired.
Okay. So next up is voicemails.
Okay, this is Heather's favorite part. This is where you guys can actually call, email, or text in, and we can answer your questions directly to you. Hopefully you're listening to the podcast after you ask it.
Bye. Now I have an autoresponder. If you text in, it says, thanks so much for texting.
Oh, good. We should have had that set up.
I texted people whose questions we featured, though. I can't get back to the voicemail people, though.
Oh, hopefully they're listening. Okay, go ahead.
So the first one, when people text, they usually don't include their name. So this is a 915 area code.
Ooh, so mysterious.
Thank you for everything you guys do! ! I was wondering how you chose your name for your cookie business. Any tips or advice in creating a unique name? She asked the people who named the Facebook group Sugar Cookie Marketing.
I like how you said the exclamation point, but you didn't say question mark.
I want to be like, like this is an upper. This is a higher one. The other ones are just questions. So that's a great question. I'm not going to tell you how to create a unique name, but I'm going to tell you some naming theory that we'd always like everyone to check before they head out the gate, right?
And Heather will have this in the courses, its own little...
I just want to talk to people about some workarounds, how to look up some stuff real quickly to see if the name's already taken.
Love it.
Just some research so you're intentional.
And you're starting off with a great foundation.
Right. Because nothing is worse than being a year and a half in and then having to change the name again.
Oh, it would be devastating.
Right. It is, from an internet marketing standpoint, it truly is devastating.
Because it's like a baby business again.
You're starting it over in the eyes of Google.
All right. Hit us with the...
So I would love to emphasize no one should ever misspell anything.
What? You mean cookies with 3 Z's at the end is a no-go?
That's my biggest pet peeve is people who use Z's instead of S's. The reason why is because if I tell Corrie, look me up, heatherscookies.com.
Oh, I'm going to just spell it correctly.
Right. So the reason why I probably chose a Z over an S is because somebody already had the S.
Unless they need to name it tintillating cookies because apparently we'll spell
You're going to be the only person with that fancy word. But let's say, okay, so Corrie, she, word of mouth. So she's in the parent picking up line. Is that what they call it?
Sure.
Okay. So then the lady says, hey, got these cookies. You should check them out. Oh, who'd you order from? Heather's Cookies.
Oh, she's not telling
Corey's going into Facebook and typing in Heather's Cookies with an S.com.
Yeah.
Google Heather's Cookies with an S. Who's she finding? Not me. I spell it with a Z.
So I think what would probably show up is maybe a competitor.
Yeah, what I would say is come up with the name you want and then ask your husband or wife, spell out what you just heard me say.
I love that.
Whatever they write is what your average end user is going to do.
So when we knew
now pretend it's Corey and I spelling it, so it's going to be misspelled.
Even worse.
So bad. But make it easy to hear. Easy to audibly exchange, right?
Yeah.
And then make it not misspelled. Another thing is don't make it somebody else's name. And I know that's like a struggle bus.
Oh, like choosing someone else's. That is hard because people want to always call it like Cool Cookies or
Which
cookies.
is probably taken 30 times over.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people, I saw people asking about domain names. So your website address, right? Mm-hmm. So someone was like, hey, my business name is taken. Okay. In the state, you can do that entity lookup to see. But Google doesn't care. Like, yeah, maybe everyone's like, trademark it, lawsuits. No. We're too small for this battle. So the thing is to name it correctly and check before you fall in love with a name, check if the domain name is available.
That's what we do. Before we even fall in love with a name, we only check the domain name. So we fall in love with the domain.
Right. So someone's like, well, then you're just checking the .com. I'll just do it .co.
Ooh. But I don't know.
The end user, the average end user in their 50s, so let's pretend is conditioned to, what do they call the bubble that exploded back?
.com
.com, not the .co bubble, not the .net bubble.
Not the .shop bubble.
Yeah. You can get .remodeling now. The extension world is wild, but we're conditioned to go to the first .com we see.
I type in .com. I think my little pinky always types in the M. Yep. Right. Just look down. Yeah. It's right there in my pinky area.
We have one client with a .net and I cannot begin to describe to you that I go to the .com first, which,
just because we're in the internet marketing world, but everyone else is just geared towards that too.
Yeah. But I just want you to think, regardless of the fact that we're in the internet marketing world, yeah, we have concepts about how it goes awry, but look at what your grandmother's doing. I want you to tell your grandmother your business name and ask her to look you up on Google. What she does is what you should pattern your naming decision after, because if that's your target audience, we got to move to them. We got to come up to them. They don't have to come up to us. We're not going to be able to teach people how to search on the internet.
Yeah. Let me take your phone from you and type that in real quick.
Right. So then people say, well, then start adding things to the end. That is a workaround. But now think about it. If the person who has your .com has been in the business for 5 years, odds are they're a little bit more established than you can be in 5 years without hiring an SEO company, really. So now you're saying I'm heatherscookiesllc.com, but heatherscookies.com exists. Who's going to go to, what's my grandmother going to do? She's going to click on the .com without the LLC.
Yeah. Whatever kind of pulls up is what I usually go for.
So it is a little bit of naming theory. An option in our world, if your domain name is taken and you're hell-bent on getting that business name, is you add the location tag to the end. So it would be heatherscookiesva, Virginia.com.
Which makes sense for us Virginia folk. Right now, we can't ship. So our clients are in Virginia.
Right. But what if I move?
Oh.
What am I going to do? Have to make my domain name again? Have my website? Well, I can just do a redirect, but that's a little bit more technical. Redirecting a domain name is SEO seppuku.
Yeah.
So be intentional. Check it. Namechuck.com, which is so funny that I have to tell you how to spell it. It's name, NAMECHK.com. So it's missing that last vowel.
I feel like there was like a joke around the office.
I wonder. So if you go to namechuck.com, you can type in your business name and it gives you it just does a real quick search to see if it can find if the domain name, social media handles are available. Like yesterday I said, get on LinkedIn, reserve your company page. People are like, I don't use it.
You don't need to use it.
don't
First
need to
off,
use
I want to say it ranks for you. It's just one of those things that push your competitors lower.
It establishes that you are a business to the eyes of a search engine like Google.
I love that.
And then you save it from somebody else.
Yeah. So you can just park, is what we call them. You can park them.
Yeah, set them up, add your website to the description, add your about. But if you never want to post to it again, that's fine. Right. But scheduling softwares like Hootsuite do post to LinkedIn. So Corrie and I, even though we're generating content mainly for Facebook, we can throw one over there too, and it's still
I just like how people are like, I don't use it. But do you want corporate clients? Because that would
commercial
be
clients with modelers. Let's say you really truly grew your real estate client database.
Oh, that's where they are located.
That's what they want to see. They're on LinkedIn. So who cares what you're doing, Corrie? Right. I care what my client's doing.
Amen. Okay, so that was great. I'm going to read the next one to you since you just talked, to give you a little bit of a Diet Coke break there. Hi, twins. First, I am loving the longer podcast. Aww. Exclamation point. That was for you. I listen when I'm decorating, and I definitely don't decorate for only 30 minutes. So thank you. My question is more for a complaint / wondering. I feel like I'm quite active on Instagram, participating in the 3x3x3. I've been doing this every day, even before the challenge, replying to people's comments on my post, posting in my stories, making a post every other day on my page. It's exhausting, but I'm trying to put in the work. But my engagement has gone like way down, like 76% in the last week down. I didn't do anything differently. Not really sure what I need to do to keep my engagement up. It's exhausting already. Also, I know whoever is reading this will say you're my favorite twin, but you're both my favorite twin in different ways. Aww. Kissy face!
That was great. Do you read my text to you like that?
No.
Corrie, do you want to meet me at Seasons 52? I can be there in 30 minutes.
I wish I got a text like that.
This is a great question, and I absolutely love to answer it because it's a conversation we have with our marketing clients all the time.
Okay. What
goes up must go down. Mm-hmm. You cannot ever have perpetual growth.
What? What? No, Heather, tell me I'm wrong.
I know. Burning up the airwaves with my little quotes right here. But here's the thing. The key word about what her text said is I've been doing it before the challenge. She's been putting in engagement generating work before the challenge.
So can I give an example?
Take it away.
Remember Heather's Bernie meme that she gifted to the group, and he's sitting in front of the oven and you're like looking through the oven? Yeah. That post got me so much engagement on Instagram that the next week it looked like I was like not even a good marketer because I was down by like 1,700%.
Right, because you had a rise. So she's been working on this account, growing it. So what goes up must come down. Engagement will always ebb and flow. When you step really far back, which unfortunately Instagram only truly tracks 28 days.
Yeah.
Third-party software can track longer.
Long
as Later can. Uh-huh. Later.com is a posting software, very similar to Hootsuite, and it tracks long-term data. When you step farther back, if you looked at the stock market at the end of every day, it always is like lower at the end of the day for some reason. Gams makes me watch it. Then you would be like, I'll never invest. But if you step farther back and see the 6-year trend, you're going to see
it's always been trending upward.
Right. Do not take your financial advice from us.
Do not invest in sugar cookie marketing.
Chasing on the NASDAQ. So the concept is she's put in a lot of work. Something hit before she can go back and see the tracking data.
Right. So what she needs to do, take 2 steps back and to dive into those different posts to see, was it your comments? Was it your content?
Was it just a well-timed meme? Did you hit a holiday really perfectly well?
Did you hit the Explorer feed? Because that will throw your metrics way off.
So when she says like I'm 76% down, I'd be like, congratulations, because that means you were 76% up last week.
Even more than that. I mean, that's
15,000% increase. A lot of people who see the most benefit from the 3x3x3 challenge weren't using Instagram effectively before it.
Yeah, so I will say that I've done this challenge with Heather for a while now, and I never get discouraged when I see my percentages go down because if I take a step back, it's always moving up. So
the average, if your followers are increasing,
always are. Comments increasing, everything like that.
If your average post, if you can go back, scroll down your feed to a post you made 10 weeks ago, then go back to the post you made today. If that like counter is wildly different, like if it was 25 likes per post 10 weeks ago, and today it's 50 likes per post, you're moving up.
Yes.
You're reaching more.
Yeah. So I would say take a step back. Do not get discouraged. Continue what you are doing because you can actually go back up again. And that's what we want. We tell all of our clients it goes up and down. But if the overall graph is going up. That is our goal as marketers.
You know, like they truly say, like, don't check your retirement fund every week or every month. Like, check it maybe once a year.
Someone's going to be like, I check it every day.
Yeah. So they said, because you'll be panicking because you'll see it going down. But if you step farther back, the year-on-year average, year-over-year average is higher.
Right. That's what our, we put money in our retirement thing, and I just said a prayer and
I don't think you have your login for it.
I don't think so. But he said, wow, you guys had such a return.
He does it one time a year.
Yeah, and I look forward to that email. I'm like, oh, girl.
That's all she needs to see. But if Corrie was like, if you're checking your Instagram stats every day, unless it's just to look at them, I would say almost don't.
I would say if you check it every week, if you have a consistent posting schedule, then you'll get a healthy idea of your account growth and where you need to put more time and maybe less time.
I would say purchase something like later so that you can see long-term data.
Yeah, so
that's going to be a much healthier metric.
Yeah, and when we work with clients, we put them on later so they can see that kind of growth. So they're not freaking out because something went down. If they can take a step back and see the year growth, it's always trending upward.
That's a great point. So the same tutoring client we were talking about before, she had a campaign launching, I think 2 weeks ago, and she wanted to run ads a week prior. But that's a very short turnaround time for ads, and her ads budget was 500. Bet it.
That's okay. I was struggling.
Her ads budget was 500. Her ads budget was $500. So we had to spend $500 in a week. Mm-hmm. We had to clear out the bank account. She wanted to spend that much. Could you imagine how much reach and engagement her post had for that one? It's astounding to see the bar graph and then how it's tanked. So I sent her an email, said, hey, we had great return on your ad. You're going to see a huge drop in metrics because they're all reporting from the same platform. Mm-hmm. And that's expected because we invested a lot of money. It's a pay-to-play platform.
And now we have stopped investing that money. You have reached your $500.
You're going back to organic reach. Yeah. So brace your buns. We're going to see some red.
Hold on. We're on the Titanic.
As Mayday Air Disaster says, please put the tray in front of you up. This will be a bumpy landing.
Okay, that was a good one. All right. So we have a voicemail Heather is going to play.
Okay. Hold on.
Hey, Heather and Corrie. This is Lindsay from Mississippi. I want to ask about Facebook groups versus pages. I know this was covered in the first podcast. I have a Facebook group started. I have 600 members. Great, love them. But I do want some of the benefits of having a page. However, I don't know how to introduce a page and thus get people to come over from the group to my page. How do you recommend doing this? Thanks. Bye. Hope I have a good Southern accent.
So funny. At the end there, she says, I hope I had a good Southern accent.
She had a great Southern accent.
Right. Okay, Corrie, I know you had a tip on this one, and I have a tip on this one.
I only remember your tip.
Your tip was connect them.
Oh, okay. I remember my tip. Okay.
I gotta steal it.
I was going to just say your tip. Okay, so my tip is you do have you do have benefits to creating a Facebook page. You can run ads. People can discover you.
You can only run ads from a Facebook page. You cannot run ads to a group. Ask Sugar Cookie Marketing Group how it knows.
Yes. So there is benefits to have it. What I would do is you can actually link your Facebook page to your Facebook group. So it's always a funnel.
That'll be in the group admin settings, not the page.
Oh, thank you for adding that. So it's actually a funnel. So when someone's finding you, they're probably going to click to your page first because it's public. They can see the content there. Then they can find your group. So you're funneling them into your group. But having them linked is actually beneficial for you in both ways. That the group members can actually see the page that's linked, and you can actually comment within your group as your page, which is a fantastic way to get people. So anytime when Heather and I do it, when we comment as Sugar Cookie Marketing page in the group, we can invite the people from that post to like the page.
But also I can edit Corrie's post then because we're both admins of the page. I can't edit what Corrie posts in the group. Like if she spelled something wrong.
I hate Heather. Period.
Right. I backspace love Heather. Exclamation point.
But that's a great way to create awareness that you have a page, invite group members to the page. But Heather has another fantastic idea.
I think that, because she kind of did it a little flipped. She made the group first instead of the page. Now, the group where you're supposed to get like insider information, they're already there. Why would they want to go to the more backdated? And here's what I would say. Hey, group members, love you guys to death. If you order from me, I just started my page. Mind clicking to my reviews tab and leaving me a review.
And what if you even incentivized it with a giveaway? If you make a review, you'll be entered into my giveaway of a custom dozen Baker's Choice. Even more incentive for them to build up your page. Recommendations are hard to get, but these people love you, and they're in your
She's got
VIP.
600 people in the VIP.
If you could even get a quarter of that to leave your recommendation.
Oh, you'd be game. I've never seen anybody who would invest that much time into it, and I think it's such a valuable free space, really.
Yeah. So I think both of those strategies together would really jumpstart your page.
Or do things like, hey guys, you can't do polls on pages anymore, right?
No.
You say, posted 2 cookie cutters on my page. Can you guys go over there and vote for which one you think I should do next?
Yeah, so then what you're doing is kind of working backwards. You're creating content that's exclusive to your page
Drawing
versus
them back,
to your group.
Which is great. It's fine. It's just the strategy behind it.
And it's different kind of content. We don't want them to abandon your group for your page because that's your warmest lead source.
It's almost like you should have 2 content buckets for your group and your page.
Okay, so I think that was a great answer. I'm going to give
great.
us an A+ for those.
I like Lindsay from Mississippi, and that was a very nice Southern accent.
Kind of jealous of it.
MISSI Okay, here's the next one. This is from Lauren from the Low Key Cookie Co.
Hey, Heather and Corrie, longtime listener, first-time caller here. Just kidding. Just listened to all of the episodes in one night on Tuesday. This is Lauren Golempuski with the Low Key Cookie Company in Edmonds, Washington. First, I just wanted to say you guys and your group have motivated me to take this hobby to the next level and come up with a brand and start really selling. And so far, it's done really well. So that's been exciting, and I just wanted to say thank you. But I have a question about Instagram. I'm still using the creator profile because I've seen horror stories of people losing fun music and stuff like that when they switch to the business profile. So I'm not seeing any insights under the creator profile, correct? And I'm wondering if I should switch back, or I guess switch over to the business profile. I'm also wondering if I'm supposed to follow back everybody that follows me, not other cookiers, but just, potential clients, people local to me, things like that, individuals, or if I should just keep that to my personal profile if I know them personally. Thanks again, and I hope you can answer my question. Bye.
Do you want to take that first one away?
Okay, I want to take that first one away. I know a bunch of people from the group follow me, but I am the Crumbed Cookies on Instagram, and I have a creator profile
Did you spell
there.
cookies with a Z?
No, it's
You did spell crumbed wrong.
No, I didn't.
Crumbed?
Crumbed is correct.
It's right?
Yeah. No, it's just hard to say.
Crumbed.
I spell it wrong all the time. It's because I don't know how to spell. So if you follow me on there, I actually have a creator profile on there. The only thing that I kind of lose is I can't post my address. But that's really like, I want to say an influencer account. No, it's just not influencing anybody.
It's not a business.
It's not a business. So creator accounts were given to influencers who wanted to have insights, but didn't necessarily want people showing up at the door because they don't have product. They are just, showcasing products that they like. They want to be able to get those insights. They want to be able to see what's working, what's not working.
And they still want to use that music.
And they still want to use music. So if you post in the group, we can kind of take a look at what your profile looks like, but I still have all the insights I do with my business profile. So I wouldn't say to move over, especially if it's working for you. Not right now. Instagram has not suppressed the reach for creator accounts and business accounts. So
you would click to your profile, then at least on an Android phone, swipe right.
They're swipe right or right in. If you look at your main bio page, should have insights right next to saved.
Okay, so check those two spots.
If
you're not seeing it, make sure your app doesn't need to update. I can't begin to describe that most solutions on Instagram problems are solved by an app update.
Yeah, and worst case, if you can't find it, post it to the group and I'll show you.
Okay, and what was her second question?
Her second question, should she follow people back who are local?
Okay, this is a great question because we are doing this 3x3x3 challenge. The question is, should I follow people back? Here's my recommendation. What is your goal on Instagram? Whatever that question is who you should and shouldn't follow back. So if I said, I'm really trying to sell to local people, I can't even ship anyways. Should I follow back a cookie person in Washington State? Oh, she's in Washington State.
She's like, yes.
Washington, D.C. on the other side of the...
well, we have our cookie classes Instagram, and bakers do follow it, and I appreciate them, but they're not my target audience. I actually only follow back local people and businesses.
In what use case would you follow back a cookie person?
If they were local.
And if they were heavy engagers.
How did you think I would guess that?
We talked about it.
I know, but you were like leading me in. I was like, and then I'm just giving you wrong answers.
No one. I'd follow nobody. Here's the thing. So a couple cookie people are just heavy engagers. Even if they're not my target audience, they're going to help get my message out to more people.
And invest in those folks.
Right. The dead weight is a cookie person I couldn't sell to who also doesn't comment.
Amen.
That's not my necessary target, so I wouldn't follow them back. In fact, I'd follow them, see if they engaged. If they didn't, I'd go and clean the list up a little bit.
Yeah. Cleaning the list is a pain in the bun. So I would
scrubbing.
make sure that whoever you're following is someone you want to follow.
Right. So list scrubbing, it's an email marketing concept. So you'll export a list. So if I have a client who says, I haven't emailed these people in 5 years, what I don't want to do is send these people from 5 years ago an email and half of them had deleted their emails, send it to spam, bounce, whatever. I had already unsubscribed. So we run it through a list scrubber and it takes out all those question marks. You know, somebody had worked for a company and then left, they're going to lose that email address. And it cleans and scrubs the list so that when we do send them, that first one, we're going to see a bunch of unsubs.
Yes.
It's been 5 years since they heard. I hope they'd unsubscribe. It's a compliment, really, to your email list to get that real clean.
Tie that back into her question.
So with the cleaning up your Instagram list, I would rather 5 people who really wanted to see my content than 500 people who did not care to see my content.
Amen.
Right.
Can I say this one thing?
Yeah.
On Instagram, people of the group, if you use the hashtag Sugar Cookie Marketing, we will come and follow you. We'll come and engage with your content. But why did I look up hashtag Sugar Cookie Marketing Group and 100 plus of y'all are using it?
Dropped a grab. You should have made it more less confusing.
I was like, what are these people doing? They're probably like, this hashtag does not
I do
work.
everything Corrie says on Fridays that I've never seen a benefit. So the hashtag for the group, every Friday we ask people to go engage. That's free engagement. We don't ask them necessarily to follow.
No, we don't. Some
it's
people
engagement.
do. Yeah.
Is hashtag Sugar Cookie Marketing.
Yeah. So not the group.
Our
Just had to get
account
that out of there.
Is at Sugar Cookie Marketing _ because Sugar Cookie Marketing was taken. I tried to buy the person with $100 and they never read it.
I don't think they ever will.
I don't think so. So that is our voicemails. If you'd like to call or text in, no one will answer. It is beautiful. It is 571-556-5644. You can, again, phone, call, you can text, or you can email hello@sugarcookiemarketing.com. And I appreciate each and every one of you who does, because it is like a nice part of this.
You know, keep them coming because we really do enjoy this segment and we can kind of get an idea of what kind of content you want us to talk
You're asking
about.
questions that everyone else is thinking. So.
Yeah, so I appreciate them. If you just have a minute, if you want to just, go on why Corrie is your favorite twin, I accept those calls too. We'll definitely put them on the air.
I'll personally, since I do manage the phone call, I will delete those and I will take anyone who says Heather is the favorite.
All right, but we really appreciate that. I'm going to go and get us into group stuff.
We already at an hour and 11 minutes.
Oh, people are
My lunchtime was about an hour and 11 minutes ago.
Okay, so I will rush through this. Okay, group stuff. If you are not in our group, we are actually letting people in. We did have a brief break so we could get some businesses caught up in the group. Now we seem to all be getting there. So we are letting folks in. So definitely fill out
we have over 2,500 people pending, but not all of them answered the question. So
you had to answer.
Now we kind of have to go through and make sure they're not spam accounts.
Right. So the people who get it going first are the people who answer the questions.
Right. Yeah.
It's just who it is. Okay, so we have our 3x3.
You get an automatic entrance if you say Heather's my favorite one.
I
will find you and
I
I
actually manage that part of it, and you will not be able to grant it access. Just kidding. We have the 3x3x3 challenge. You can comment. You can start whenever you want. So if you missed it, it started May 1st. Don't worry.
We're on the 11th day. We're mirroring the days of the month. It ends May 31st.
So you comment on 3 accounts you follow, you comment on 3 accounts who follow you, and then you comment on 3 accounts you neither follow or follow you. This is a perfect way to dip your toes into hashtag research because that's where a great place to find people who are actually on the platform. This is not a follow-unfollow challenge.
This is a comment only, really only challenge.
Yeah.
If a lot of your followers have private accounts, I would suggest not following them unless you want them to accept your following. I would say, some people are like, all the accounts who follow me are private. Hey, then do the hashtag research. Add 3 more comments there.
Exactly. Okay, so we have upcoming lives. This, May 13th? That is Thursday, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have porch pop-ups for rural communities and small towns by Jess Clapper. She is actually a pig farmer and a baker, and she is going to bust that myth that I live in a small town.
She sells really well, and she lives on a pig farm, so it is hard to get to her.
Follow her on TikTok because it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Instagram marketing with Courtney of Bakery Tico. Do you know she's going full-time with T-shirts?
Oh, congratulations.
No more hair.
Sure. Oh,
She's a
wow.
hairstylist, and then she creates these really funny T-shirts. But she announced in a live the other day that she was going full time.
Oh, well, good for her.
But that will be on May 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Most of these on Thursdays. I don't know why
I like them on
Thursdays.
Thursday.
Okay.
We have relationships and baking with Lisa. That is May 27th at 4 o'clock.
She is from the Yukon, so her and our time is wildly different. So it worked out to be 4.
Oh, but it's 7 our time?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 4 p.m. our time, so it's like not better for like she doesn't have to be up at 1.
Oh,
in the
good.
morning
Okay, so
talking
this is the only. Usually they're at 7. This one's at 4 Eastern Standard Time. But she is talking about how baking took a little bit of a toll on her relationship with her husband, and how they were able to use communication and
compromises.
Huh?
Compromise.
You love adding that whenever I say this.
Because it's you gotta compromise, man.
Okay, so that is May 27th.
And then we have graphic design and branding for Sugar Cookier, spoken in Cookinglish by Vanessa, who's helped quite a few members with their branding.
So that is May 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Past lives, I thought this was a fantastic
Great.
one, was how to create, build, and grow a cookie business newsletter with Jennifer Groh. That one happened this past week.
She
and
did really well.
It was fantastic.
I learned a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so she was a genius behind it. If you have not, go to the events tab in the group, and Heather shares that within the event that it happened, so you can find it
It's
easily.
the pinned post, but it's also in the description, or you can look up Jennifer Groh. Her last name is Groh.
So that was our past live, and then Heather did a past live on Popl.
Yeah, so really quick live on the demonstration of the Popl button, and that's Popl. It's just Google Popl. Don't do popl.com because it's not the direct link to their website. But basically, NFC reader chip. People would tap their phone to it, and it pulls up your payment portals. It's great for pop-ups. People who use them love them, and then some people hate them. My big takeaway is I get it. It's not a huge investment, so maybe, sure. But I would watch the live to see how it works and if it was a good fit for you.
And we tried it with my phone. I have a big case on it.
No, yeah, it's...
It did not really work with the case on it.
So one lady in the live said, I get it to only work 1 out of 10 times. And I would say at that point, no. But with the phones I demonstrated, it worked 100% of the time.
So when we took my phone out of the case, it was easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
Corey and I also use Androids, which it seems to be more effective on Androids than it does on
Another
Apples.
plus. in the
Apples
program.
come with NFC readers on. Androids actually come with them turned off.
Interesting.
I know, right?
Oh, speaking of interesting, we are going to our Twinterests, which is what the twins find interesting this week.
Tembi gifted us Yeti.
Are you stealing my?
I'm reading it.
Okay.
She gifted us Yeti cups, and Corey has been obsessed. She's unfurled the top of it about 5 times in this podcast. That the clanking noise is.
Just a little sip. Just a little sip. But this is a Yeti cup, and I don't know if I've been living under a rock all my life, but I have never actually owned one till now. So,
But now you see why that they're great.
oh my goodness, I'll put ice in it, guys, and hours later, I'll still hear a clink, 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 clink. But the doctor told me, hey, try to stay out of the hospital, keep those kidneys nice and hydrated. And Tembi said, hey, girl, I got you. She runs Tasty Tin. She branded it, and I was so proud when I opened it. But I always have it with me because it is just...
It's really well made.
It's really well made, and the water is always cold. So it was in my hot car, which is just outside in the sun right now. But I could go get it, and the water would still be cold. It's like mind-boggling. And my worst thing that I hate with like cups with ice in it is the condensation. But this doesn't condensate. Not one little dribble on the side.
That's impressive. That's good. My Twinterest, I know last week I had mentioned that I was going to use a mirrorless camera, not a DSLR. Sorry, I misspoke. A mirrorless, camera, prosumer camera to use it as a Facebook Live. So it would be using the camera as my webcam. So we have a Sony A7C. It shoots in 4K, has autofocus. The lens we have is way too not shallow, so it was a little difficult, but I wanted to use it for a Facebook Live, and that Popl Facebook Live is filmed on that camera.
Yeah, it was crispity.
It was really crispity. I have a 4K adapter. I just am waiting for the cable. It will allow us to stream in 4K to Facebook Lives.
Oh, that would be nice. So what she's basically saying, since, I can speak her language, was if you want people to see your nose pores, you need to get a
Fortunately, it was my hand pores. But like if you were teaching a cookie class.
Oh, that you would want to have that definition. So there's no details lost. It's almost value added when you have that crispity, crunchity.
Plus, I can control the direction of the camera versus webcams that are fastened to the top of your laptop. It's very difficult.
Amen.
Huh?
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. From the we'll have an altar call at the end. But so we use the Sony A7C. If you have a Sony camera, Sony has an app. I know Canon has an app too. The cable that I use is the one that came with the camera. That other cable will be a little bit different
I want to try a live with it. Nice.
Yeah, okay, that'd be great.
Okay. I don't know what I'll talk about, but I'll be nice.
Okay, so then, okay, great. We have got to wrap this up. It is an hour and almost a half. Okay, sponsors, real quick. Corrie.
Yeah. How is that dating going?
I'm working on it. Someone made me cookies.
What? Oh, yeah. Someone made
cookies.
Bumble cookies. This is our...
But I think I've met a few people anyway, so...
Like, anyone to call home about?
I don't know. We'll see.
You got a name? Is it Tom Cruise?
I wish it was Edward.
Edward! That's an old school name.
We'll see how old Eddie works out.
All right,
so
guys.
I gotta go.
We are wrapping this up. Me and Heather are starving, and it's 2 for $1 at Bertucci's.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go. Bye.